Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a story time for you because I said I was going to do it and it's like long overdue. So this is a story about my horrible prom experience. It's really bad. So I'm going to just jump into it because it's probably going to be pretty long. So anyway, prom for me was like the best thing ever. I was planning my prom probably when I was in middle school or early high school. I was planning my prom, planning what my dress was going to be, my hair, everything. So the year before my prom, I basically had an idea of what I wanted, like literally a year before. And obviously I'm a fashion designer, so I played basketball, I was in clubs and stuff like that, but I was never excelling in everything. Even in school, I was doing well in school, but I was not like valedictorian or anything like that. I got like honor roll and stuff, but like I never really like excelled in anything in school. So prom for me was like the most important day and event for me because I'm into fashion. Everyone knew I was into fashion. So it's like prom is all about what you wear. So I was like, prom is like everything. So the year before I planned like how I wanted my hair to be like and how I wanted my dress to be like. So basically I wanted like a middle part and my hair really straight. I saw this picture of Rihanna at like I think the AMAs or some type of award and her hair was bone straight, part in the middle just slaying. And I wanted a sweetheart dress, leopard print with a huge, humongous mermaid train on the bottom. And if I can, I will try to link below my prom picture or something like that. Maybe like a link below or something because I don't really know how to insert it, but I'll probably link it below so you guys can see how my actual prom just turned out. So anyway, I had this vision and I wanted like winged eyeliner just totally slaying the game. So I had this vision, and so when it came to senior year and we started planning, I was like, I'm gonna do the limo because I had close friends. I didn't have a whole lot of friends, but I had close friends who knew other people. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the limo so I don't get ripped off, because if I'm the one who knows the price of the limo, I can charge everyone accordingly and I won't get ripped off for anything. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the limo. Bad idea. Because I did the limo and a lot of people were like, okay, we're coming into your limo. Then they would drop out and we had an amount to pay, and people had to pay in like every month or every 2 weeks payments. People were not paying the payment. So I was like, guys, where's the money? And I would always get excuses every week, and I'm lenient because I know money is not always easy to get. So I'm like, okay, fine, next week. And it just kept like delaying the payment. So that was the first thing. People kept dropping out of our limo, and we were telling people the exact amount so that the whole limo could be paid for, which we should have charged more just in case people dropped out. So people were dropping out, so that means we had less money to pay for the limo, and it was just a mess. So anyway, that was this problem. And it gets worse, but I'll get to that when the day actually gets there. So then my other problem was finding a date. So obviously I had my whole prom played out, so I knew who I wanted to go to prom with. So I'm gonna name him John. So I wanted to go to prom with this guy named John. That's not his real name, but I'm just giving him that name. So I wanted to go to prom with this guy named John because we knew each other since we were like 14. We were just friends, but we were really cool. I liked his vibe a lot. He was so nice. Like, he was respectful, and my sister liked him. And when my sister likes somebody, they're a good guy, because my sister is very picky. So I went to I was gonna ask John. So I told my friend, one of my closest friends, that I want to ask John to prom. I really want to go with him. And he went to a different school. So I was like, this is perfect, because I really wanted to go with someone who wasn't in my school. So I told her that I wanted to ask John to prom. She is like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, she was like, do you want me to put a good word for you? And I was like, yeah, if you can, because she went to the same school as him. We went to different schools. So she went to the same school as John, and I'm going to name her Laura. So Laura went to the same school as John, and Laura's my friend. So Laura says, yeah, sure, I'll put in a good word for you. And I was like, perfect. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, Laura's gonna, she has class with John, so Laura's gonna be like, sorry. So Laura's gonna be like, Dershell wants to, no. I was thinking Laura was gonna be like, so you haven't spoken to Dershell in a long time. Like, how are things going? And just putting good word in for me. Like, have you spoken to her? Have you thought about her? Just to get his vibe, a sense of me. Just asking like random questions. Like, I've spoken to her recently. And because me and John had not talked in a long time. Like, we talk like off and on when we see each other, and our communication was like lacking, but we still had a good, like when we meet up and see each other, it's always good vibes, but we don't talk to each other often. So I thought Laura was going to put in words like, oh yeah, have you seen her? Have you talked to her? How do you feel about her? You know, things like that. Subtle. Laura, this girl Laura, tells John, oh, Dorshell wants to go to prom with you. Girl, Laura, I did not tell you to ask him to prom for me. I could have done that myself. I just wanted you to put a good word just so you can kind of see his vibe about me. If he was like, yeah, Dorshell's like cool, like whatever, like brushing me off, I'd be like, all right, maybe I'm not gonna ask him. Or if he's like, oh yeah, I love Dorshell, I haven't seen her in a long time, like energetic, I'm like, okay, perfect. He's gonna wanna go with me. This girl straight up asked him to prom for me. So anyway, she asked him to prom for me, and he's like, you know what, I would go, but I heard that she had something going on with, I'll name him Robert. And Robert's my friend, so I don't want to do that to him. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Me and Robert have a lot of problems because Robert is a liar. So he would say all these things about me like, oh yeah, you know, that's my girl, blah, 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 blah. And nothing was going on between us. So he was a liar. So he was telling John, you know, oh yeah, me and her used to talk, blah, 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 which wasn't true. So So John, out of respect for Robert, was like, yeah, I don't want to go to prom with her because, you know, that would disrespect Robert. Mind you, he knew me before he knew Robert, so I felt kind of offended. Like, I get you're his friend, his close friend now, but like, we were friends for so long, and it's just prom. I'm not asking you to marry me. It's prom. And I was just so upset because I felt like I could have delegated the situation. He could have told me that to his face and I could have explained myself. But since Laura went to do it, you know, she didn't really have anything to say. So I tried to text John, you know, just, you know, try it for myself. Like, maybe I can explain myself and tell him that nothing in me and Robert he's crazy, Robert's crazy, and nothing went on. But he didn't answer my text. So I'm pretty sure he assumed that I was going to ask him. And I was just like, girl, you ruined the plan. And I was so upset because he would have literally been a great date because we would have had fun. He was good looking. It would have been perfect. So anyway, John was out of the picture. He wasn't going to be my date. So I was like, damn, who am I going to ask now? Because he was literally the only person I could see myself with going to prom, because like guys are like these days, and he was pretty like decent. So I'm like, okay, who am I gonna go? So I go with this other guy that I know from camp. We've known each other for a long time. He also goes to a different school, but we were really close friends, and his name was David. So his name was David. So I was like, okay, let me ask David because he's super chill. We're friends. He's cool. We don't talk often, but when we do, it's always a good time. So I was like, let me ask David. So I'm like really nervous, and over like Messenger, I asked David if he wanted to go to prom with me. And I should have known because his answer was like hesitant. He was like, oh yeah, I'd go, but I don't have a tux. And I was like, don't worry about it. Like, you could do a suit look. Like, you don't have to actually go buy a tux. This guy, I don't think, wanted to pay anything. And the thing is, like, I didn't mind paying, like, certain things, but I would like for the guy to, like, I'm not asking the guy to pay for me. I'm just asking him to, you know, do his part. And if you want to, like, contribute a little bit to the limo or something, do that. But he was not trying to pay anything. He did not get his suit. I kept asking him, like, okay, what are you thinking about doing for your suit look? And he would just like not answer my messages, but he never told me he didn't want to go with me. So I was just always thinking, like, it was always like a question mark. Like, is he going with me? Is he not? Does he still want to go? Does he not? And it's been going on for like a month maybe, and this is getting closer to prom. So I'm just like, is David going with me or David's not going with me? And he never told me he wasn't going, but as the date was getting soon and I was like, he's not hitting me up for nothing, I was like, he's not going with me. So I had to come to terms with myself that David was not going with me to prom. So I was like, okay, that's off the list. So I need to find someone else. So I asked this guy named Vince. And I'm like, okay, I already had two bad options. Maybe Vince will go with me. So I asked Vince, and Vince is a little hesitant too. He's like, all right, I'll go with you. Fine, I'll go with. He's like, I have to think about it. And when he thought about it, he's like, okay, I'll go with you. And when we were talking about it, we were planning everything. He seemed really excited. I was like, yes, I've got a date. I was so excited. I was like, okay, all right, cool. You know what you're wearing? He's like, yep, I got a suit, everything. I was like, cool, I have your bow tie that I made for you. It's gonna be lit. No, okay? No. You know why? Because a day before prom, he had to go and get surgery. Now, he knew he was getting surgery, but he was like, oh, I'm going to get the surgery before your prom date. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. I'm going to have my surgery. Don't worry about it. No, that didn't happen. Vince got surgery literally the night before my prom. And I was like bawling. I was so sad because it's the day before prom and you're getting surgery. So that means you can't go with me. And we've been planning everything. I paid everything for you. And you're telling me you can't go? Are you serious? So at that point, I was devastated. And now, mind you, my date situation's a mess. Limo situation's a mess because people keep dropping in and out. And then my dress situation was a mess as well because I got my cousin to make the dress for me. I designed it, but I got her to make it for me. I really wanted to work on it together with her, but that didn't work. So I gave her the design for the dress like in February or March or something like that. She did not start on the dress until April, and my prom is in May, like the end of April, and my prom was like mid-May. And it's not no shade, I'm not trying to shade anyone, but I'm just saying, like, the frustration you could imagine I was going through. Like, I was thinking I was gonna work on the dress too. That didn't happen. And the way my dress was, I had cheetah. The way I designed it, cheetah was in the middle and the black was on the side. Cheetah print was in the middle, black was on the side. She switched it. She put the black in the middle and the cheetah on the side. And this was like a few days before my prom. And she was like, oh, I could fix it. And I was just like, we don't have time for that. So my dress was not even the way I wanted it. And like I said, no shade. It's just the way it was. Like, my dress was not the way I wanted it to be. I had a vision of how I wanted my dress to be. It was not the way. Mind you also, I was broke. So I couldn't afford to get my hair and makeup done. So luckily this girl said she'd do my hair and I could pay her after prom. So I was like, perfect. My hair was a mess, okay? The weave I got was like bright gold, bright Barbie blonde. So it did not go with my skin tone. I wanted like an ombre effect, but obviously it didn't work. I had like this crazy part in the middle and the hair was like frizzy. It wasn't like sleek. Remember I told you like I wanted the sleek hair? It was like frizzy. So, I had to put an updo because my hair was looking freaking crazy. So I had to do my hair in a freaking updo because I was looking crazy. So I had an updo and I did not want an updo, but I had no choice. Not to mention my friend's cousin did my makeup and I was so thankful for her to do my makeup because I could not afford a real makeup artist. So she does my makeup and her makeup looks so nice on her, but you know sometimes when you do makeup for other people it doesn't look that great. And for me, I'm very, very particular with how much makeup I wear and stuff because I have like natural beauty, so I don't like a lot caked on me, but I want to like slay. So I felt like I looked like a drag queen because I had too much makeup on. So I didn't like my hair, I didn't like my makeup, I did not like my dress. I had no date. But the day of prom, I contacted this guy that I knew. His name was Lawrence. I contacted Lawrence and I asked him like, would you want to go to prom with me? And he was like, you know, he liked me on the low. So he was like, yeah, I'll go. The same day as prom, mind you. He was like, okay, I'll go with you. So I'm like, okay, well, yes, I have a date. So he had no suit though. So ironically, do you remember, what did I name him? Robert, the guy who lied to John saying that me and him, you know, used to talk or whatever. Yeah. So Robert had a vest or something like that. Ironically, me and my best friend go and get a suit from Robert because Lawrence needed it. So it's so ironic. And like I told you, I do not like Robert, but he still gave me the whatever for him. So anyway, he didn't have a suit or anything, so we had to basically piece a suit together for him. Last minute, this is like hours before my prom. This is maybe like 4 hours before my prom, or 3. So he had to quickly get a haircut. We had to go get him a suit, a vest look. It was a mess. And I didn't know how to tie a bow tie, so his bow tie was just hanging there. But luckily, he was like, okay, I'll go with you. Like I said, he liked me on the low, so he was like, okay, fine, I'll go with you, even though it was super last minute. And I was just like, I should have just asked him in the first place because everything would have gone so smoothly. And my sister had to buy my corsage for me and like the pin thing. So he didn't even buy it for me. And it's like, it was just so horrible because it's like, I had a vision of how I wanted prom, and it didn't go that way. So he had so we pieced together his suit, and you know, we were off to prom, basically. Long story short. But remember I told you the limo situation wasn't good? So we get to the place and the limo is not finished being paid for. So we basically had to collect every money. And there's parents there, you know, they're like children, and I mean with like, you know, everyone else taking pictures and stuff. So parents are putting in money, whatever. We finally paid the limo guy. The limo guy goes, you know, you have to tip me. And I'm just like, we have to? Like, I'm telling you, we were broke. So I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll tip you at the end of the night. We'll figure it out. So my parents were not even able to be there for me at my prom because it was so hectic. Like, I was at my friend's house the whole entire day because I had no ride to go home. So I didn't even get to see my parents. They didn't get to see me leave. They weren't there to take pictures of me, and they were tight at me. And I was just so upset because I really wanted them to be there. Like, the way I wanted prom to be in my head, it was not the way. So they were mad at me because obviously they weren't there. But I was mad at myself and the situation because prom was not the way it was supposed to be. Like, literally my date, freaking had to go to get a surgery the same day as my prom. So I didn't even get to tell my parents who I was going with because my date was last minute, literally last minute. So basically we finally get the piece of the money to get to the limo. Everyone's mad because my friend's date is late. My best friend's date is late. So everyone's like mad, like, we need to get to prom, we're late, blah blah blah. Finally everyone gets into the limo and I'm like, okay, cool. So we get into the limo and we make our way towards prom. And prom for me was like, because my date wanted to stay with me the whole entire night, and I didn't want that. I wanted to like enjoy myself, dance with other people, have fun, but I was like claimed onto my date. I didn't have a camera, okay? I had an iPod and it only had the front camera, so I couldn't take pictures at all. I had to like follow my other friend so I could use her camera. My best friend went MIA for basically the whole night. I don't know where she went. And I just did not get to take a lot of pictures with people. I looked a hot mess. Everyone was so like, oh my gosh, you made your dress. I mean, like, you designed your dress. It looks so nice, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, thanks. But it was not the way I intended it to be in my mind. My hair, my makeup was a hot mess. Like, I was so upset. And I didn't go to after prom because I just had such a bad night. I was just like, I'm not going to after prom. Like, I was going to go, but I was just like, my parents are really mad at me, and this night is not going even as planned. Like, I'm not even going to make things worse, so I'm just going to go home. So prom was a literal disaster, and I'm just upset because prom for me was always like that event that I thought I would take over because I love fashion, and I would just slay and be best dressed and be everything. And I definitely think I would have been had my concept came into real life, but it didn't. And prom was just horrible. Like, horrible. And Robert really killed it because the date situation was really the worst, and like having people paying the money was just the worst. But it is what it is, and I don't really have that many great memories from it, unfortunately. But you know, it's all in the past. There's other things that are more important just than prom. But yeah, that was just my little story time on my horrible prom experience. If you liked the story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys next time. Bye.